Lord Cacophonist are infernal conductors leading an orchestra of discordant and deafening slaughter. Such is their singular obsession with emitting lethal sonic destruction that their bodies have been agonizingly sculpted to further their art. Hey, it's Takti folks, and today we're looking at whatever this is. Lord Cacophonist Adamatar is coming to the game in a zero release event starting on September 28th. We're going to look at his design, his stats, his abilities, his legendary event viability, and his mythic quest line. Adamatar Xandassus has a very interesting sense of fashion. He seems to wear a black leather mask, carries an ornate amplifier on his back, and his pistols look like tiny rippers. And there's some plates on them too, to actually rip. He wears some interesting hoofed shoes, and either painted on veins to his pink armor elements, or actually has some stretched skin on there. The zebra stripes on his loincloth are definitely meant to confuse predators. No, but really. While I was lukewarm on Chiron, this guy actually balances the cheesiness of some Emperor's Children with an actual feeling of menace. Have you looked at his face? Let's get the defensive stats out of the way. Look at the guy. Do you think he wants to be a tank? His health is actually placed 17 among 10 other characters like Ragnar, Asgore, or the freshly improved Abaddon. His armor is in place 26, along Titus, Tiark, and many other space marines. No tank, and also no block chance, as he can only equip a defensive item. But definitely a solid character that will survive a hit. Which is important for him, as he will need to get up close and personal for his abilities as well as his attacks. As a pistol character, he only has a range of 1. His attacks, being sonic in nature as Chiron's, are also eviscerating, with a decent 50% pierce ratio. This guy will shred your innards if you stand close. Helping him with that are his crit and crit booster equipment slots. 3 hits are about as average as you can get, but his tree move, while standard for Space Marines, might hurt Adamatar, as he's not as flexible with movement as he'd likely want to be. The Cacophonist's damage against no armor is in place 58, just behind Gulgord's, not considering his crushing strike, and just in front of Sarquil's melee attack. Against infinite armor, Adamatar comes in at place 48, and just a little better than Karian, also not counting his passive. And a little worse than Eltrion's melee attack or the Tyrant Guard. The Thrill Seeker trait, once again is a nice bonus, can occasionally help against resilient characters and sometimes spike your damage with a higher crit chance, but won't do wonders. His active, Doom Siren, deals 3 instances of direct damage to an adjacent enemy, and up to 2 other random enemies adjacent to the target. That is a bit more flexible than Maladus or Sarquil, for example, where the other enemies have stricter restrictions. Direct damage is always a good thing, and for each enemy overkilled by the Doom Siren, Adamatar will deal 1 more hit with his normal attacks for the rest of the battle. Using it so that at least 1 enemy with full health affected to get a Thrill Seeker trait off might be a great idea, as then he has a higher crit chance and will always overkill. This can potentially double this guy's damage output for the rest of the battle, and with Ornshi even more, although that is so specific it will probably not be worth it. Here you can see his normal damage in comparison to other characters and how it looks with 1, 2, or 3 enemies overkilled with his active. Doesn't look so bad anymore, right? But not guaranteed and needs you to set up first. So, if he isn't a tank and also not a damage dealer, what exactly is Adamatar supposed to do? He's a buffing character. His passive, Obsessive Annunciation, causes enemies adjacent to him to take considerable extra damage from ranged attacks. Only working for ranged attacks is a pretty big caveat, preventing his use in the classic multi-hit team, which focuses on melee attacks. The passive also enhances the crit damage from chaos units against enemies adjacent to Adamatar, if an enemy was overkilled this turn. This sounds pretty situational, but maybe someone can cook up some strategy including Tavak, although his one hit would make the extra bonus pale in comparison to his normal damage. Just to put Adamatar's buff into perspective, at level 35 and epic, he will make fighters do plus 314 damage. For comparison, Eltrion gives plus 256 damage. This is a juicy buff, but only applying to ranged fighters means he won't slot in well into existing guild raid teams. And he also needs to get to the enemy, which, at least for some bosses, can be hard to achieve, or takes longer than you would want to. He would pair exceptionally well with Chiron though. That guy has 6 hits, can additionally profit from the secondary effect, and you can take Eltrion as well for even more damage. I showed in his introduction video that Chiron is capable of doing a lot of damage. This would leave 2 team spots open. I'd maybe take Rivers to set fire and be able to profit from the Exorcist on Chiron, and because he can do a lot of hits until then and has at least a few summons blocking damage. Thaddeus could also have done damage and helped with Chiron's heavy weapon, but I think the Exorcist benefits us more. Folk, for profiting from his passive in both ways and having a lot of hits, should also work well. Wouldn't beat any of the current meta teams, but it's a fun thought. For legendary events, Adamatar does little to write home about. 3 hits only melee is not really a rarity, and the lack of traits doesn't help him either. Thrill Seekers might become a useful trait later, but Chiron was more interesting in that regard. He also features only 1 or 2 if you count direct damage type, which at least is a little rare. Eviscerate now features 5 chaos characters, and in tracks without Xenos, he's now the 6th character, without Imperium it's 8. Direct damage hasn't been a requirement yet, but now has 5 characters without Xenos and 5 without the Imperium. And that's it, not much to say. He features no healing, no summons, and isn't extra tanky, so I guess he won't do great in legendary events, and neither in guild wars. Before we go into the mythic missions part yet, I'd love if you considered using my referral code BAD60ADO for a quick 100 Blackstone for you and various rewards for me, depending on the level milestones you reach, which would really help me out in game. Adamatar doesn't have a relic yet. He can't even use Chiron's drugs. Let's go through the mythic missions very fast. It will take you to get there, but feel welcome to come back here if you ever feel the need for it. For Mythic 1, you need to defeat 4 enemies with Obsessive Annunciation. Your enemies will get that effect once you stand next to them. This means you need to use your active, as even if surrounded, your normal attack can only kill 1 enemy and make 2 flee. Not enough. Doing it with your active means that you could potentially kill a backline enemy that doesn't count. So we definitely need battle fatigue enemies, and while they want to attack from range, I still think the Voxcaster's Guardsmen will be best. I searched for a level with Voxcasters in the map where we can stand close to the edge of the battlefield, so we can fill up adjacent hexes fast and won't hit hexes behind them. Look, Fall of Cadia 40. Here, by having Adamatar stand alone and filling 1 corner up with your fighters, you can guarantee to hit 3 enemies with the effect and only have to hope for RNG to make a single one flee. For Mythic 2, you need to do 10,000 damage in 1 turn with Thrill Seeker. This means either getting damaged, which you can do yourself with the Tuvius for example, or hitting an enemy that has full health. Especially with early guild raid bosses, this can be done pretty easily, like here, where I stack Ragnar, Eltrion and Kalga for some extra damage, and can do it even without the active. Doing it with a very high active on a group of enemies in arena might also be a valid way to do it. 3 is just overkilling 100 enemies. I don't think I need to show you this. If you have some patience, You can do that in a single level of Fall of Cadia with Voxcasters and do it in only 6 energy. Mythic 4 again is harder, requiring you to do 13 hits in one turn. That is a head scratcher. Hit buffs are quite rare. You can get +1 for melee with Gulgords, can get up to 2 for chaos characters with Pastilian, and get an extra hit with Vitruvius, Toriad, and a very convoluted one with Trajan. Pastilian only works with normal melee attacks, as does Gulgords. Vitruvius also only works with 4 normal attacks. Toriad works universally though, but giving the 3-hit active an extra hit would only work out for 12. Having Onshi, using the active twice with Adamatar, can get you to 9 hits total, which you could bolster with Vitruvius, Gulgords, Pastilian's active to 13 total. But that would only work in Arena or Guild Raid, only if you kill the full 3 enemies with your active both times and have that team. Now +2 hits from Trajan against 3 enemies with their active could get you there. You would need to have Trajan on one side of a chain of 3 enemies and another character using his active on the other side, so get +2 hits on 2 enemies for a total of 15. You know what probably would be easier? Just wait for Tournament Arena, grab a melee hit upgrade for +4 hits and go to town on a group of enemies. Even the basic plus hits upgrade would work wonders here. 5 again is just doing 60,000 damage while under the influence of Thrill Seekers, which should take you some time, but not be hard at all. If you want to do it fast, take Adamatar to Arena and give him a lot of buffs. Of course, Guild Raids works too, but why hamstring yourself there? That's it, all you need to know about Adamatar. Do you like him? Do you think he will even be useful in any mode at the moment? Let me know in the comments. You can watch more of my videos here. I'm currently going through the new in-game economics since the Mythic update. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. We're still way off, but at 3000 subscribers we will get another in-game code for some shards and coins, so that's definitely something to work towards. On the right is a video YouTube chose for you. I have no idea if YouTube is good at that. So have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.